You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Welcome to Jazz Talk. My name is Steve Williams. We have a return guest, Cron, and Bob Schlilnk on guitar. So they'll be playing one tune tonight. So tell us what's going on. I know you reissued a recording that was originally on CD, and now is on a digital platform now these days.
Yeah, we Bob and I and Dave Zinno on bass and Vinny Pagano on drums. And Eddie Tomasi on saxophone. We were doing quite a bit of, we were doing some things together back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And Bob had a studio, and we were doing sessions, I think, too. Weren't we doing sessions?
Yeah.
So we were doing sessions, but we were playing a lot together, and we made a record back then, and I had them printed. I had 1,000 of them made, and 500 of them are still in my basement, but
That's typical.
But now it's 2025, and people don't even own CD players anymore.
Right.
So it's been digitally released as of about I don't know, a month ago.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal because when you release something digitally, it's international.
It's international.
So, I mean,
and you were talking prior to the interview. People in Germany have been responding.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
got on some playlists. We're on a couple playlists in Germany. And,
Who knew?
Yeah. And,
Who would have thought? Right?
Right, yeah, and you never know. It's the beauty of now. There's a lot of things that aren't so great for musicians right now, but the good thing is your music can get international immediately. So
That's right,
yeah.
I think it's on, what platforms? Spotify?
iTunes, it's on everything.
CD
iTunes,
Baby,
Spotify.
and that kind of thing?
Well, CD Baby is who I did my first record with,
Yeah.
but no, this is iTunes, Spotify, all the other,
Amazon.
Amazon, all of them, yeah.
Oh, good.
I was listening on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's available, and so yeah, it's been great trying to figure out how the music business works in 2025.
Yeah, it's a different animal
Totally
these days.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. And
If you figure it
labels
out, tell everybody else in the world.
Oh man, yeah. I think financially it's very rough on musicians. I think it's always been rough on musicians, but I think it's very rough on musicians. But the playlist thing is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get on a playlist, that's the way, because people aren't buying records. They're just listening to certain songs or certain playlists, or so.
Occasionally, I'm sure you'll probably sell a few here and there, physical copies at some gigs. I mean.
Yeah, I bring them to gigs and
Yeah.
and sell a few here and there. Absolutely.
Very few, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's all right.
That's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you planning on doing some kind of release type of thing at some gigs, venues?
I have.
To
I have.
celebrate the re-release of it.
Well, not necessarily. So the plan for me was this. I stopped playing for about 6-7 years.
Yeah.
I just kind of took a break, and when I came back, I had trying to figure out how everything works, and I wanted, and I know for me, I need to just do things. Do a project. So I booked time in the studio, and I went in and started to do some recording, and it helps propel me.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to re-release the 2 recordings that I had. I wanted them digitally available.
Yeah.
So that was step 1, and then I have a new recording that'll be coming out probably in the next 6 months or so. I have some more recording to do. But looking forward to that coming out. Dave Zinno and Dino Gavoni and Brooks Offerman. So it's a quartet record. And I'm really happy with, really excited about. We've got about half of it recorded, going back in the studio in February to finish it up, and then put it out. But the idea was re-release the stuff that I had already done, that we had done, and and then lead up to the release of some new stuff.
So when you guys did do this at Bob's studio, you already were a working band, so you were playing gigs, so all it was is just playing what you played out, but in the studio. It makes it a lot easier to do it that way. Rather than trying to plan it out in the studio, write out the charts, that's not the best way of doing it.
Well, the funny thing is that like at the same time we made this record, I think Bob and I might have been playing in a GB band.
Yeah.
And you know, we're all musicians. We play gigs to make a living. You know, Vinny's busy, one of the busiest drummers on the planet, and Dave Zinno and all these guys. So we're all playing those gigs, weddings, but this was, we didn't make much money, but we had a gig at the bookstore.
Oh yeah.
And so I was writing, and we had a steady gig at the bookstore, and we would go and play our music. And and so the beauty of this recording, as I listen back 20 plus years later, is that like we really gelled, because you go in the studio now and you're getting like people together, maybe one rehearsal.
Yeah, that's.
But when you play over months and months and do a few concerts and you work out the tunes,
so
this recording, this Circles and Roots record, when I listen to it, I'm like, man, we really had a good vibe.
I agree. There's, you know, like I said, the textural things, like in My Snowman.
Yeah.
The textures in that are, to me, unique. It's rare to find those kind of sounds in a record.
Right.
And then you were using the harmonizer.
Right.
Man, you know, like that, to me, that's a high point on the record. You know, and because of those things, because, you know, the sound of the trombone, the textures, and just the, you know, the harmonic structure of the whole thing it's just a beautiful song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But,
thank you.
you know, well, another one is the Stella.
Yeah.
Stella's also beautiful, right? But there's a lot
man.
of Stellas.
Yeah, there's a lot of recordings of Stella by
there's
Starlight.
tons of recordings of that. But your original piece, man, it's a knockout to me, man. That's, you know, like, and I was just listening to it now, and it's just a great.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that.
It's a
It's
great
funny.
piece.
I was studying with George Russell at the time, and so that was one of my homework assignments, was writing that intro. And the rest of the record is really influenced by George Russell's work, the work that I, you know, studying with him, and obviously Hal Crook.
Yeah.
The harmonizer, I was just doing my best imitation of Hal Crook, embarrassing myself on that front. But it just inspired. When you listen back 20 years later, it's so much better than I thought it was at the time, which I find interesting. We're so critical. Musicians are.
Yeah, well, we always. you can look up or down from wherever you are, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can look up, and there's so many people that are, you know, like better than me, or richer than me, or smarter than me. But you know, when you look at it now, you realize that it was the record was at a high level.
Yeah, and yet there was a period shortly after we finished the record where I could barely listen to it. I felt like, oh, I'm messing with electronics. I have no business. What am I doing? Blah 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 blah. You know, my tunes are sort of out there because most of the record I wrote, most of everything but Stella, and you know, I stole Caravan with Sloan Keefe's Beef or whatever. But I listen back now and I think, boy, as a younger musician, I was so hard on myself. You know, because I listen back now and I'm like, man, we were really getting into it. You know.
Well, you know, when you were saying that they were, you know, kind of out there. Out there is the only place you can go to get anything new, right?
Right.
I mean, otherwise, you know, if you just compare yourself to everything else that's happening, and you say to yourself, well, you know, like it's not that. You know, to me, if a certain kind of music can be this and only this, then it's ready to be put under a glass in a museum.
Right.
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 So
right.
that stuff that on that record doesn't sound like it belongs in a museum under glass.
No.
It sounds like we were really trying to, break out.
Yeah.
Break out of, like.
But I think it's.
What we usually did.
But don't you think it's very listenable? Like there's one tune I wrote. It's in 7/4, right? But the groove rolls along so well that you don't even hear anymore that it's in 7. The band, the way you guys played it, it just. It's a lot of fun to listen back to, and it's great having Eddie recorded. And I remember at the time,
right.
So I met Eddie on Duke Belair's band, so when I wanted to do my own thing, I asked Eddie, and I remember I was so intimidated by Eddie. I'm a young cat, and I'm like trying to put a band together, and I met Bob playing on John Allmark's band. I think that's when I met you.
We did Allmark and did Brass Attack.
But then we did Brass Attack. But we met on Allmark's band, and Zeno was Hal Crook's bass player. So,
that's right.
And I've always had this. I've always been sort of audacious. I don't know why, but I'm like, why not? I can ask. They could just say no.
Right.
But I asked Dave, and he's like, sure. And then he starts doing this, because again, I think Dave Zeno is one of the best bass players on the planet, bar none. I just think he is phenomenal. And I'm not a rhythm section cat, but I would imagine that playing with him is different.
He's a very solid player, and he's always on it. He always knows exactly what's going on.
Very confident.
Yeah.
And to use a Rhode Island term about Dave Zeno, he's a wicked monster. Phenomenal.
He sounds so good on this record.
Yeah.
The other part of this record that, as I'm getting older, is that this kind of music, it's like if you pour yourself a nice glass of wine. I'm not into wine, but some people are. You sit down, you enjoy a glass of wine.
Right.
This record, any of these tunes, if you're going to listen to this music, commit 5 or 7 or 8 minutes to it.
No.
This is not it's not hit and run music. But if you sit and you really listen to what we do on any of the tracks on this record, there's a story that you can hear it, and you can hear the interaction. You can hear, because it's not complicated music. I mean,
Depends on how you look at it.
Well, harmonically, there's a couple things that happen that are a little, but for the most part, I write groove tunes.
Yeah.
Tunes to blow over. That's what I write, just the very basic. I mean, one of the tunes, it's just a like the same chord over and over. But you listen to somebody like Dave Zeno or yourself or Vinny or Eddie blow over something like that.
Yep.
And it's magical.
Yeah. Why don't we play a tune? I know you guys brought your instruments. Guitar, trombone duet.
Yeah, we'll play a tune.
Maybe do it too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. We texted about it briefly.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Apropos title, yesterday's.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this fire.
There you go. That was really good.
Yeah, Bob.
Really, man.
It's so fun to play with you, man. Really fun.
So that was a song you do on a gig?
That's the yesterday's. What was that, Jerome Kern?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, yesterday's. We were like, what? I said, let's play a tune. He's like, what tune? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
It's a nice tune to do as a duet. But I want to make sure in this interview that we highlight, the fact that like Eddie Tomasi, to me, is one of the greatest musicians, tenor saxophone players. I think his alto work is amazing that I've ever heard, and I'm so gassed that on this recording is Eddie.
Yeah.
And I've done some recent recording with Eddie, and this recording to me is special because we knew the music so well, and it felt like when I listen to Eddie on this recording, it's like it's beautiful. He really stretches out.
Yeah.
And particularly we do Stella by Starlight, and it's Eddie's feature, and he plays it on alto. And a lot of people know him on tenor, but not alto.
And like Bob, he's a faculty member at Berklee College of Music, and he's been there since 1976.
Yeah,
so he went there when someone by the name of, you probably heard this name, Joe Lovano was a student up there, and all those cats up there. So, he's a great guy, very down-to-earth guy, but just under-recorded, like you said.
Yeah, so I'm so pleased. It makes me happy to know that there's something out there now. Spotify, iTunes, you put in Eddie Tomasi's name on iTunes now, and that recording will come up.
Yeah.
And you can hear him.
Because he doesn't have one out on his own name.
Not on his own that I know of, no. But so I'm really happy about that. He's one of my favorite human beings, and that makes me happy. And
he played with him at Duke's band.
That's how I met Eddie, on Duke's band.
So he was there a few years, or was he there the whole 20 years that you were there?
I was on the band probably 10 years.
10 years.
He was on the band the whole time I was there,
Okay.
He and Ted Casher and
Yep.
Dick Johnson. What a band that was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Red Lennox was in that band.
Red Lennox, yeah.
And Greg Abate was in that
Greg
band one
Abate.
time. Yeah, one time. Yeah, back
A lot of great musicians.
Yeah.
Phil Person.
Yeah. So when you when you did this recording in the studio, it was I'm sure guys were so comfortable, even though I think this might have been your first time recording something?
Not the first time. Probably.
One of the few, though.
Yeah. I did record a record for my daughter.
Yeah.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
And we released that on a CD, and she won Best New Release in Providence at the time.
Oh, really?
They used to have newspapers.
The rock format, was it in that? Or
it was like Motif or one of the, like, what was that Boston paper they had?
The Phoenix.
The Phoenix.
Yeah. Providence Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Providence Phoenix.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she won that. I didn't have much experience. That was when I first got the studio finished. And it was, 2001?
Yeah.
2 or something.
Yeah. I have it down. I have it noted as 03 when it went out, but it took a while after we recorded to mix and master.
Well, it was certainly the first time that I ever recorded a band like that with upright bass.
And drums. That was a lot to record drums.
Yeah, right. Well, I was set up to record drums. I had the mics for it.
Yeah.
And but I never recorded upright bass ever. That was the first time I ever did it.
Yeah.
And I guess.
Well, they love it in Germany.
I guess I got lucky.
Yeah.
Because it came out good,
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. Just like you said, man. I wasn't knocked out by the record when we did it.
Right.
But listening to it now is, man, why not?
Right.
Why not, dude? What were you looking for? What were you listening for?
Well, it encourages me to encourage other musicians, especially young musicians, to record.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse not to these days.
Yeah, especially
because
today.
the technology
is so much better.
I mean, I have a little
my
handheld
goodness.
that's probably, is good, but you record yourself and document.
Documenting, exactly.
Because the process you go through to organize the record, to mix, to master, to the whole.
Yeah.
It's such an education. But then the beauty of it is that 20 years later, I mean,
Yeah.
someday I'm not going to be able to play this thing, but I'm always going to be able to pick up those recordings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they mean it means so much to me when I listen to the recording, and I've listened to it a lot lately because I'm trying to add to the number of times the tunes are streamed, so I listen to it all day long. No, I'm just kidding. But
Why not?
yeah, but I hear something new all the time, and knowing the musicians in it, like I think Vinny sounds amazing on the record. I think he and Dave just lock in extremely well. But I think when I listen back to the record now, and what I wasn't aware of at the time was your role in it rhythmically. You did some rhythm guitar things throughout the record that were, I don't know, huge. Like Blackbird is a great example of that. You know, you do some
Yeah, that's an interesting choice because I mostly played.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the whole thing. But, you know, sometimes you got to be the straight man, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you got to be the straight man and everybody else does everything around you, but it's the contrast between that straight thing and all this other syncopation and all this other.
Well, you had two jobs to do, guitar and engineer, so it's a little.
That was tough, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that was very difficult.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So once again, I got really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lucky, and you know, it was for me so difficult to switch. You know, okay, I'm recording it, but now I got to be in the music with the rest of the band. I wasn't even in a room with you guys.
Right.
I was in another room.
Right.
Playing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we knew the tunes. Like we knew the tunes well enough that we were so comfortable in the tunes, and that's the beauty of it. Like today if I'm doing a recording session, like I'm sorry, but I don't have the money to pay for a bunch of rehearsals.
Right. That's
So,
right. Yeah.
so the tunes that I write have to be like readable, and you don't want the musicians on a jazz recording to be hung up on what they're reading.
Right.
You want them just feeling and
Comfortable and playing,
Right.
yeah.
So the beauty of the beauty of this was that we knew those tunes, you know, and we really stretched out on them. It was a lot of it's a lot of fun to listen to. I'm very proud of it, and I'm happy to be able to say that I'm proud of it because I don't know, as musicians, like, you know, you won't go around patting ourselves on the back, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, we're busy like you said, looking up or looking down.
Right.
Well, you know, here's another thing. I've been, now I've been a teacher for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And when I talk to my students, I say, look, don't listen to yourself from mistake to mistake, because what you're telling your subconscious mind is, don't do that, don't do that,
Be afraid.
don't do that, and don't. Do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
That's not a way to anybody to teach anybody anything.
Right.
So
and
if you
with
want
that, we have to end, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Oh.
And Bob Schlilnk, thank you for being on again. And
You're welcome.
Al Cron, thanks for being on again.
Thank
and
you.
the next time we'll have, I guess, a full band kind
Yeah.
of thing.
We'll bring in and do a
So I
little-
think we'll look towards the springtime.
Sure. Yeah.
When there's no snow to
Yeah.
go through.
And
Get
thank you,
here.
Steve. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this.
Yeah.
This is important stuff. You're documenting things.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here, and thank you for doing
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah.
And like Bob, I've been at this for 30 years, so
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you for watching Jazz Talk, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.